Welcome to Money Markets and More. It's hard to believe that we're already entering the fourth quarter of 2023. And while this year started off to be really good for stocks and bonds, the third quarter did provide some challenges. And so we wanted to do a couple of things in this episode. The first is to introduce Austin Green to you guys. He's a new member of our team that helps us with a lot of different areas, one of those being financial planning. And so he's going to touch on a couple of different topics surrounding financial planning in today's episode. And then Callan's going to follow up with some facts and some things that we're watching on the market. So he's going to talk about what's happened so far this year, and then what we're watching going forward into the fourth quarter and into 2024. So we hope you guys enjoy this episode. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks.
Thanks, Heather. Hello, everybody. My name is Austin Green, and I joined the team back in May of this year. Before I get into the topic of the month, I just want to briefly introduce myself. My wife, Paige, and I moved to Baton Rouge in February of 2022. We actually met at Nicholls State down in Thibodaux, finishing up our master's. We've got two kids, our daughter Iron, who is 2 years old, and our son Monroe, who was born this June, so he's right about 4 months old now. I've been an advisor for roughly 5 years. I'm originally from New Iberia, Louisiana, and my role on the team is going to be servicing you, the client, a little bit of portfolio management, and leading our financial planning process, which leads us into the topic of the month, financial planning. So when you think of financial planning, I would like for you to think of maybe taking your family on a cross-country road trip. Would you prefer to use a old style paper map to navigate in new highways, new cities, or would you rather have turn-by-turn instructions from a dash-mounted GPS? Financial planning is a lot like having Waze or Google Maps giving you turn-by-turn directions. So with every journey, we've got to start somewhere. And the beginning process in financial planning is understanding your current financial situation. We want to look at your current cash flow, your budget, your assets and liabilities, essentially building out a financial health report to understand the pros and cons and everything that you've got going on in your life. The next step is understanding where you want to go. And this is going to be a goals-based conversation. So we're going to discuss possibly retirement planning, what you want to do in retirement, how much money you need to spend in retirement, maybe funding education for a loved one or a large purchase down the road. We want to know what your goals are so that we can build out a custom strategy for you. And that's the third step in the process, is once we understand where you are and where you want to go, we'll sit down and build out a custom plan for you. And we're going to give advice on things like investing, budgeting, protection through insurance, ensuring that your estate is in order should anything happen to you unexpectedly. And this is an ever-evolving process, so it's not set it and forget it. This is going to be a conversation that we have on a regular basis, because when life throws you curveballs, we're going to be there to walk with you every step of the way. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you for your time today. If you have any questions or want to take that first step towards financial planning conversations, I welcome a conversation in that. Please give us a call here at the office. And next, I'm going to throw it to Callan for our monthly market update. Have a great day.
Thank you, Austin, and welcome to the team. That was some great information that you shared. We're again talking about the Fed this episode and what they're not doing, which is raising rates. But they still reserve the right to do so in the future. Inflation still has not come down to the number that they want it to be, and so they talk about raising rates and reserve the right to do so in the future, and continue with their strategy of higher for longer. The expectation that we're going to have higher interest rates for a longer period of time to make sure we stamp out inflation and that it doesn't resurface at some point in the future. The market is having trouble digesting that, and has been in a sideways to down motion for a period of time, since the beginning of July. And usually what happens here is that we need to have a catalyst come to change the direction of the market, an event to occur to cause it to either go to the upside or to the downside. You usually see three types of events. You can see corporate earnings doing really, really well. We're in corporate earnings season right now, and we're starting to see some good numbers out of some technology companies and a few of the banks. You can see a great economic number or a bad one. We had a great GDP number earlier this week, a surprise to the upside. Hasn't really affected the market because those types of numbers really alert the Fed that maybe the economy is still overheating a little bit and they want to raise rates. Or you can have geopolitical events, which we're starting to see in Israel right now. Those are three types of catalysts that we can look at to see this is going to change the direction of the markets, whether it's the bonds or the stocks. What should a regular investor do in this type of market? What we would encourage you to do is revisit your risk tolerance. There aren't many things we can control in the market. One thing, and the most prominent thing that we tell our clients is you can control the amount of risk you take. So this is a great opportunity as we wind down this year to look at how my account has done and what risk am I taking. When we look at risk, we look at our asset allocation. Stocks being more risky than bonds, bonds being more risky than cash. So this is a good opportunity to say, does this market make me uncomfortable? How does this market make me feel? And I'm okay with the risk I'm taking? Does it keep me up at night? If you're having those kind of conversations with yourself, then we may need to visit and look at your risk tolerance, and there may need to be some adjustments, either up or down. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Money, Markets, and More, and we look forward to seeing you again next month.